Hi, this is Greg from Greg's Bass Shed. Welcome to the lesson. I'm away on holiday this week in Tenerife, so I'll be making this lesson in the hotel room, so it'll be a bit of a shorter lesson because I'm keen to get back out and swim in the sea. This lesson is the first lesson in my How to Build a Bassline series, where I'll be giving you tips and techniques to help you compose your own bass lines. For this lesson I'm going to use a song called Platonic. It was written by Ben Heathcote and I worked with him and I composed the bass line for this song. I'll demonstrate the bass line for you first and then I'll talk about how I composed the bass line and how we worked on it together as a band. I'll also show you some techniques that I use in the bass line. I've written this bass line out with tab and I put that in a PDF. If you want the PDF, then as usual click the link below in the description and I'll email that to you. You can also check out my website, gregsbassshed.com. I've got all my popular videos on there. I've got details about my bass beginner guide that's coming out on the 30th of April, so you can express an interest in that, and you can see some different things on my website explaining a bit more about Greg's Bass Shed. So this bass line is a 4-bar loop all the way through the song, and I'll play that for you a few times now. The process for working on this bass line was Ben gave me the song. He used to play it acoustically at gigs and he wanted to put some bass on it. He told me he wanted some bass first, then he was going to put vocals on, then a picked acoustic line and then a rhythmic acoustic line. So the song was sort of build up all the way through. So because it was just bass at the beginning, I needed to have a bit of rhythm in there, a bit of a driving bass line. So first he gave me the chords, which are a bar of A, a bar of C, a bar of G, and a half bar of E and a half bar of G. So we repeat that sequence round and round again. So it was really up to me to sort of come up with my own bass line. So I first started messing around with the A chord. I was thinking we needed something quite full, so that's why I thought about a double stop. And a double stop is just 2 notes at once. So the first bit is root, 5th, octave, and then a double stop on top, which is another 5th. So we've really got in the key of A, we've got the roots A, the 5th is E, the octave, which is 8 notes above, is the A, and then we've got the E again, the 5th up there. So start with your first finger on the 5th fret of the E string, which is the A, and then your first finger again on the E, 7th fret of the A string, and then first finger on the 7th fret of the D string, which is the A there, and then last finger, we can play the 5th together. And then we've got a hammer on, A to B, so 7 to 9. And then we've got another hammer on and a pull off. So hammer on, pull off. And if you want to know about hammer-ons and pull-offs, I've got a video made specifically about them. I'll put the link up there now. We recorded this song in 2003, so a good 16 years ago. And when I listen back to my own bass line, I can hear influences of Flea from, say, Californication with those pull-offs and hammer-ons. I wasn't really aware of that at the time. And it's quite interesting. If you listened, I was listening to a lot of Red Hot Chili Peppers at the time now. So if you listen to a lot of music, try to play the bass lines, all the different techniques that the different bass players use, and get them under your fingers. And when you're composing your own lines, then subconsciously you'll put some of these elements into your own bass lines. That's the way music's worked from the beginning of the time, really. People were sort of borrowing ideas for their own music. So let's play that bar of A. And again, 3, 4. And the pull-off works better when you're playing it faster. It's a bit difficult to get it when you're slow. So that's a bar of A. Now we'll move on to the bar of C. So we're playing the C up here on the D string. So that's the 10th fret of the D string. And we're going to do a double stop again, this time with a 3rd. So that's the major 3rd. So that's fret 9 of the G string. And then we've got a 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th, 31st, 32nd, 33rd, 34th, 35th, 36th, 37th, 38th, 39th, 40th, 41st, 42nd, 43rd, 44th, 45th, 46th, 47th, 48th, 49th, 50th, 51st, 52nd, 53rd, 54th, 55th, 56th, 57th, 58th, 59th, 60th, 61st, 62nd, 63rd, 64th, 65th, 66th, 67th, 68th, 69th, 70th, 71st, 72nd, 73rd, 74th, 75th, and then we're going to play C, C up to the D with our little finger, and we'll hammer on the D. So that whole bar of C. Again. With me, 3, 4. With me, 3, 4. Again, 3, 4. Okay, so the bar of A and the bar of C, 3, 4. Okay, so we move on to the bar of G next. So we're going to play a G and a double stop with a 5th. So a G here, which is the 10th fret of the A string, and then the 5th double stop, which is the 12th fret of the D string. That's a D there, so we've got a G and a D. And then we're going to do G to A. So 10 to 12. Hammer on, pull off. With me, 3, 4. Again, 3, 4. So the whole bass line up to there, 3, 4. And then we go down to E. So E, which is the 7th fret of the A string. Slide up to the G again. And then a double stop on the 5th, the D. The whole lot, 3, 4. Okay, so that's the whole bass line. So what I'm going to do at the end of this video, I'll leave the whole song running so you can play along with the song. It's a bit tricky to get your fingers around at first again, those pull-offs and the hammer-ons, and maybe the double stops, you might find those a bit tricky. So take it a measure at a time, a measure or a bar, and when you're happy with that, slowly speed it up and then move on to the next measure. And I'm using this bass for the video, my Spectre, Euro Spectre, and this is the first 5-string I had, and I use this all the time, so I use it for the recording. It's got quite a unique, particular sound, but you can play it yourself on a 4-string, because I'm not actually using the B string at all. So I hope you liked that lesson and found it useful. If you did, please like and share it and comment below. I'll be doing loads more videos in this series to show you different bass lines that I composed, and hopefully I can give you some more techniques and tips. You can subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Remember, I bring out a lesson every Friday. Also, you can look at gregsbassshed.com or follow me on Instagram and Facebook. This is Greg from Greg's Bass Shed. See you next week.
First of the summer, I knew it the same at the end, that you and your love were frightened. But couldn't you be my friend? Couldn't we sit in the twilight? Couldn't we walk on the shore? with only a pleasant friendship to bind us and nothing more. Whoa, 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 whoa. We touched on 1,000 subjects, the moon and the worlds above. And what would you have done, my lady, if I'd spoken to you of love? Couldn't we sit in the twilight? Couldn't we walk on the shore with only a pleasant friendship to bind us and nothing more? Whoa, 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 whoa. But I fought with my heart and I conquered. I hid my wound from sight. You were going away in the morning, so I said a calm good night. Couldn't we sit in the twilight?